It's each man's responsibility to keep his woman in line.
We're only there to support our men.
Say it louder for those in the back. When I want to have fish sticks, I expect I get fish sticks. No talking back. At the end of the day, it's my house. The two men of the house are sitting in our thrones.
This traditional trailer park family is about to blow our minds in this episode of Wife Swap as they ramble on about how women apparently should only ever be in the kitchen. Yeah, buckle yourself in because this one's about to get spicy. So spicy, in fact, that the massive life changes this bigoted biker family face in this episode are literally so intense that it caused them to split up almost directly after this episode aired. So look, I don't want to spoil too much of this for you. Welcome back to Grimm. Without further ado, drop a like if you enjoyed these reactions and let's get right on into it, shall we?
Traditional homemaker Carrie, her rough-and-tumble husband Tombstone, and 11-year-old son Daniel.
Starting things off right, this dude's name is freaking Tombstone, bruh. I get it, you gotta have the whole biker thing going, but Tombstone, for real, that's freaking wild.
I've always said I wasn't born in the right generation. I believe men work, women clean, take care of the kids.
Oh God, yep, so she's a traditional pick-me type wife where she was, quote, born in the wrong generation. She wishes that she could just, not vote, not really have any sort of respect, especially in public. Really, she just doesn't want to be seen as anything except for a personal chef / Hoover vacuum around the house. She's so old school, she doesn't even think that women should work, but if they do, it's their choice and they still have to do all these stuff around the house. That is literally how much she hates her fellow woman.
The motorcycle world, life is built on respect. And that's the same way that I control my household.
Yeah, when you're a biker, it's all about respect. Of course, not if it's a woman you're talking about. Then you don't gotta give them any respect. They're really just there to cook you your meals. And of course, carry your children to term and birth them. But I could do that if I wanted to. God just didn't let me. But really, with the respect thing, it comes down to the fellow men bikers. That's pretty much where it extends, and that's it.
The women are not heard in the motorcycle community because we're only there to support our men.
Say it louder for those in the back.
Dude, she literally sounds like she's reading off of a script. Like, how long has this brainwashing been going on? It is deranged to hate yourself this much. Like, this is literally a form of self-hatred. You can't convince me otherwise. Because why else would you want to repress your own life like this?
What I do is I ride on the back part of the motorcycle.
Okay, so with how proudly she's exclaiming, the fact that she rides on these bikes, this has to be some form of degradation-related freakiness between these two, because I just refuse to believe that you can have this much brain rot about yourself. Have some freaking respect. And I'm not even really tripping over that term. This is just one of the many ways she's already tried to put herself down, like, I'm the lesser than, so I gotta sit in the back. It really makes sense. I wanted to get my own bike, but, women aren't supposed to be behind the wheel or the handlebars. She's just a AI bot that's gotten trained in the wrong corners of the internet, pretty much.
If someone has a problem with the word riding, they can grow a backbone.
God, she sounded like Eminem in his new album. Like, this lady definitely has been posting TikToks of Gen X, we rise up to fight against the millennials and the Gen Z, with some crappy wolf filter on. Like, you can go ahead and cancel me if you think I shouldn't say riding, but I really don't care. You can cancel me for that.
Tombstone is definitely not allowed to step foot into my kitchen. It is not a man's place to be in a kitchen. If they're hungry or thirsty, we serve them.
This has definitely gotta be some freaky-ish going on, man. You can't convince me otherwise. This lady is almost forcing him to force herself into this role. I don't even think he really cares about the whole traditional values type thing. Maybe I'm wrong, but he seems to be having to ham it up for the camera way more than she is. She's the one that sounds like she's actually angry if this dude walks into the kitchen to grab himself a snack without asking his wife for it.
It's dinner time.
It is dinner time.
Problem with the green foods is I'm not a rabbit.
Dude, you can't make this shit up. Oh, she's talking about her skills in the kitchen and how women should be the ones cooking, and she pulls up this shitty burnt DiGiorno pizza. You didn't even cook the oven pizza correctly. It's sticking to the pan and you're having to force it off. And this lady's over here acting like she's some Michelin star chef for her family and it's her pride to cook for them. You know damn well they're eating frozen foods 9 out of 10 meals a week. So you know this guy could heat that up just as easily in the air fryer.
I'm scared as hell this week. I've become really accustomed to everything being taken care of for me.
Been real nice living with kind of a brain-dead zombie as a partner that just does everything on my will and listens to everything I say and caters to me all day. So to have an actual sentient human being in the house with me is quite terrifying to think about. And speaking of the family they're switching with, it's pretty much the opposite situation over there. They live in a big house that is afforded by the apparently illustrious social media and professional dance actor/performer career of the mom of this household. She's the breadwinner, and the father is the one that happily helps out around the house and cooks meals for the kids and probably enjoys not working himself. But Lord knows this would give this other couple a heart attack to see the gender roles reversed like this. And needless to say, there's going to be some friction. So let's just see how it goes. And man, I'm excited to see this switch.
Dirty dishes in the sink. I want to do them so bad. Doing the dishes. That is a woman's place.
And meanwhile, at the other house, the lady literally can't stop herself. She sees dishes in the sink and realizes, oh God, a man might touch these if they're left alone. I gotta clean them so that all the women in this house know that's the women's job. Like, she is so programmed, it's unreal.
100% vegan cheese.
Vegan.
Oh no, they don't eat meat.
And oh God, the family they're switching with are vegans. A worse nightmare for this lady who cooks only the finest meats on the various DiGiorno and Red Baron pizzas that she heats up for her family every night.
So you don't do any chores?
No.
You don't cook or clean or?
No.
And you don't eat healthy at all?
No.
It just sounded like they were playing the same clip of him saying no over and over. But yeah, this man really doesn't do jack shit around his own house and his, I guess, full-time security job, which many people in this country do without having to sacrifice, things they're doing at home. It's just too much of a time waster for him that he doesn't have the energy to do anything at the house for himself. He probably doesn't even wipe for himself.
Hey guys, I'm gonna sit down.
Girls don't usually want to sit with us.
And this guy and his biker friends are so appalled at the idea of this dude's, stand-in wife wanting to sit with them at the dinner table. All of their wives hate themselves or their husbands so much that they don't even have the expectation to sit at the same dinner table when they go out to these biking events. That is so dysfunctional and insane to me, and honestly quite sad. I think a lot of these guys just act this way and think that all women are like this, but no, when you're truly in love, you should not be shocked by a woman wanting to sit with you at your table that you're married to.
In the house, it's more or less a woman has her place. We will get yelled at for going into the kitchen.
But this dude does kind of start going into his childhood, and it sounds like he's unfortunately just having a hard time unlearning what he was raised around. The women in his life saw it as this toxic viewpoint as well, where you're almost less of a man for even standing in the kitchen. They're that afraid of something having femininity or anything like that, and I'm just seeing it as so weird that this is a problem. You'd think providing is the most manly thing you can do for your family, and I see nothing wrong with trying to provide for them with meals and cooking.
Can we have some fish sticks?
Some what?
Fish sticks. They're in the freezer. She usually cooks it in the microwave.
So now they want some more meals made for them, and we're just getting another peek into this culinary world that this woman is, bringing to her family by not allowing the men in the kitchen. It's been DiGiorno pizza and fish sticks, bruh. And the fish sticks aren't even put in the air fryer. I was wrong about that. Nope, this is a microwave-only house. They said, you know what? We're gonna take the shittiest form of random meat food and cook it in the worst way possible where it's all soggy and floppy. You have seriously got to be kidding me, bro. I can't take this other family seriously at all.
When I want to have fish sticks, I expect I get fish sticks. No talking back.
I love how he's just sitting out here with his backwards cap on, smoking a stove, and just repeating this general misogynistic bullshit. I'm at least getting my laughs in this episode, I will say that. And in the most scripted scene ever, we get this woman mowing the lawn when clearly it's already been mowed recently, but this is just, I guess, the producers being like, hey, we gotta show you, sitting around and not doing stuff while the woman does her chores. I really don't think this dude is out here, no matter how much better he thinks he is than his wife, I don't think he's out here sitting in the chairs, sipping on his drink and just watching his wife mow the lawn. They're so extra with scenes like this and I don't get why. But anyways, that was enough for the first week. Now it's time for the rule changes, and we're gonna see if this dude steps up. Typically, these types are the ones that react the most childishly and the most unman-like. You know what I'm saying? They have no pride, no respect for the concept of the show, and I've seen a lot of these dudes crumble where they don't even do a single thing that the other woman wants for the rest of the week, which basically ruins the show.
That throne is now mine.
The roles in this house normally involve a woman having her place and a man having his.
All right, we got a first green flag. He at least gave up his, quote, throne that he sits in. The fanciest piece of furniture that they spent the most on in the house. Gotta go to the man. But he gets right up out of it and even elevates the feet for his new wife. So I gotta say, I'm proud of him for at least playing along to this one. He's doing better than a lot of these other dudes that we've seen in previous episodes.
Would you mind getting me some water?
Oh, man.
Do you need help where the cups are?
Probably.
And I know they're joking here, but I would not be surprised if it takes him 2 to 3 tries on the cabinet doors to even find the cup drawer. That's how little this dude is doing anything for himself or even thinking for himself when he's in his own home.
Gotta probably move this.
Whew,
Gotta move that trash can.
I've been running around, kind of busting my butt.
And now he's having to Swiffer, and this dude is starting to really realize how much it sucks to do this stuff and just be watched. Like, that is the biggest psychological part of this. A lot of these dudes not only disrespect their wives in a way that makes them just do all the chores, but then they sit there and antagonize them too while they're doing it, showing off how much free time they have that they could have helped out with whatever task it was, but they just like sit there and egg them on like, oh, you missed a spot. So I always love to see this get reversed. They never handle it well.
I gotta stay in shape. It's like, you could call me a carbon copy of my dad. He's had a couple of heart attacks.
And okay, in a strange, very odd turn of events, this small bit of the power dynamic shifting gets this man to start talking real deep again about his family and about how much fear he has of being like his father who's had multiple heart attacks. Sounds like he's still with us, thankfully, but dude's been living a hard life and he's finding himself, you know, kind of becoming him in his mid-30s, 40s, whatever age this guy is. And it's just funny that this little bit of sweeping the floor made him get so into his own emotions and realize, like, man, there's like a reason I'm acting this way, and it's kind of crazy to see somebody have this much introspection. I did not expect to see it from this biker dude, so he's kind of winning me over right now, but we'll see how this continues to go.
I'm gonna try to put in an effort today, but if I have to get fitted for a tutu, I'm gonna lose my.
So what does she do to make them exercise? She takes them to a dance studio. If this dude's gonna start dancing, he already automatically wins this show so far, because that is the most unexpected thing I would see some macho, tough biker dude like this guy wants to portray himself as. That's like the craziest thing I would see them do on this show. She's literally saying, we're about to twerk. And he even cracks a joke about not having a butt. So it seems like this dude has a lighthearted side to him that also can be a little bit vulnerable, especially on camera. You gotta think about that aspect. Everybody who's on the show is getting paid, but they're still thinking, oh, how am I going to be perceived? This is all being filmed. So for him to know that his biker buddies are probably going to see him in this dance studio and he's still going through with it just for the sake of his family and his health, that's honestly a win right there. He's doing so much better than his wife, who's over at the other house tripping about them being vegan.
Go, ha, roll, ha, roll.
Whoa, wait, hey, whoa. Yeah. So we're going down.
And this dude is legit having fun with his kid as well. Or I think he's just more of a stepfather in this situation, but still, they're having a nice family bonding time and also kind of burning some calories. I mean, still, it's embarrassing to do on camera, but the fact that he's going through with it, like I said, is insane. And this is a very good learning moment for this kid too, when he's seeing this side of his stepdad and realizing not every dude has to be this tough, kind of abrasive person.
It was a lot of fun doing this with Daniel because, I mean, this gave us a different activity that would keep us a little active. And at the end of the day, it's all about my family.
Man, why is this guy winning me over right now? If you really told me that in the beginning of this episode, I would be cheering him on. I would have laughed at you, especially with some of the BS he said earlier. Like, still, we're not excusing that. He has a lot of unlearning this hatred to do, whether it's self-hatred or just hatred for others. But he's definitely on the right track, and oh my God, is he adapting to the new rules better than, might I say, most dads on this show.
What'd you call them?
The chia seed, they're gonna be our egg replacement. This is your egg replacement.
It looks like it came out of one end of the chicken.
And oh my God, not only has she brought them into the kitchen afterwards, which is a mortal sin to his wife. If she was here, she would be cursing them all out, I'm sure of it. But not only that, they're cooking a vegan meal, which includes quite a bit of greens, which this guy has explained he does not eat. I just find it amusing to find people who are fully grown adults that say that, but there just is such a childish view of vegetables. Like, I've had some vegetable dishes that absolutely blew my mind, and I'm sure this guy will too, even though he tells himself it's gonna be bad just because it's vegan.
Oh, this is fun.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Yeah!
And look at this dude, they're all smiling, having a great time. I'm sure the family hasn't bonded like this in who knows how long. Granted, the boys are probably always playing video games on their TV together, eating fish sticks while mom slaves away in the kitchen, but that's not the same as everybody doing the same thing and bonding and having a good time. This is becoming such a wholesome episode.
Green stuff, almost like an anxiety level fear. It ain't my favorite thing. I didn't spit it out. So like.
That's right, he didn't even spit out the greens and he tried them. This dude is actually going the distance on this episode, dude. The complete 180 is insane. I did not expect this from the rule change, but this has become one of my favorite episodes so far.
I don't get to spend time with him like I want to, and like I have fun. Clean plate, full stomach.
Yeah.
Dude, it's honestly so refreshing seeing a rule change actually work. Nobody in any of these episodes is completely right about anything when it comes to parenting 100% of the time. Nobody can be. But the fact that he let this woman bring her influence into the house and saw the actual live, like, positive effects of it is beautiful. This is great TV. So anyways, now it's time for the parents to meet back up again and switch back. And let's just hear the reaction to this man cooking and eating his own vegetables and see if the wife is happy for him.
You ate string beans?
I cooked them.
You don't eat vegetables.
So wait. So
Yeah, she sounds almost pissed off that he ate vegetables or that he cooked. I don't know which one she's more angry about, but to not be excited about those things is crazy to me.
Yeah, we help. I'm gonna strong arm this one, but it's the best meal I've ever eaten.
This dude's like, I discovered seasoning, babe. It's crazy. Like, these people know what's up, even though they're vegan. And this lady is just sitting there so appalled in her own just chaotic self-misogyny.
I'm not going vegan. I don't want to take away real meat.
No, what?
Oh my God, what real meat? We saw them eating fish sticks and oven pizza, frozen oven pizza. This lady's own self-inflation of her cooking ego is insane.
It's time for me to be happy inside of my home as well. If I want to help clean up the kitchen, it's an act of love.
And the guy says, I want to help you out around the house, which is most of the time a good thing for the wives to hear. But this lady's so caught up in despising herself, she takes this as the worst news ever and actually cries as a result of it. Check this out.
That's a lot of change. I don't do good with change.
I don't do good with change.
A little time.
We'll do a little at a time.
You get to clean one dish a night, okay? You get to clean one fork, not even a plate. How could you do this to me? Like, she's so dramatic. Your husband just said he's gonna help you out around the house, and you're not taking that as a compliment or like a loving gesture. This is such a dysfunctional marriage.
I didn't have a childhood. My mom left. She didn't come back. My dad took care of 3 girls, and he didn't have anyone to help him.
And I don't know what it is with this lady, but then it turns into another kind of very self-aware moment from this other mom who's kind of explaining her own childhood stuff that she went through. And it's crazy to see that both of them realize they have this very toxic view of what their home and their hierarchy in their home should be. And that all stems from just not having the perfect situations in childhood and basing it off of that. But that's pretty much it with them meeting up. I was honestly wondering what the hell happened after this episode because it was such a drastic shift. I wanted to see if they actually were able to commit to it. So I found a TikTok that belongs to Tombstone himself, and needless to say, we got some new lore.
What's going on, everybody? I said that I was going to come on here and do an update, and I've got quite a few things to talk about. Of course, I was on Wife Swap. There was a lot of things that happened on there, a lot of things that I learned, and you know, I've grown a lot since the show. I found my best friend. So she rides her own motorcycle.
So here he is in the flesh. He admits that he's starting to eat vegetables, which is amazing. He found ones that he still doesn't like guacamole and stuff, but will eat broccoli, cauliflower, you name it. Proud of the guy. But the craziest thing, he announces that he split up from this woman after this episode and shows off his new boo, who apparently rides her own motorcycle. So leveling up, she doesn't have to sit in the back like the last one, and he's not offended by her having her own bike, which is also a big character development. But this dude is just straight up class. I don't know where this came from. Even in the comments, he says, we were growing and going in 2 different directions in life. Our goals no longer aligned. We tried to adapt and work through it, and it just didn't, when referring to his old relationship that you just saw on this show. So even when it comes to the breakup, he's being so respectful and adult about it. So it really sounds like this might have been a massive wake-up call for this guy in this show to kind of redirect his life and where he's at and where he wants to be, and that is absolutely beautiful. So I want to know what you thought of this episode down in the comments below. What a freaking emotional roller coaster, and that's what I love so much about this show. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, make sure you drop a like, and as always, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Until next time, peace out.